Hi, I'm partners with James, and so we're talking about why NASA should halt all human space exploration for the foreseeable future. So what my partner just told you about, some of our main points are cost, danger, and overall efficiency. I think he did a really good job talking about the danger component, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about cost and efficiency. So when it comes to cost, it's actually a more complicated conversation than just dollar for dollar. We also have to talk about value of human life and really using our resources across the board. We have to bring into the conversation that NASA is part of the government entity. So in terms of NASA spending money or NASA having a budget, that's taking away from other components of our government or other places where we can spend that money. There's so many other pressing issues going on in our government and our political environment right now that looking at how far away we are from actually landing humans on Mars, it doesn't really look like that's the best place for us to be putting this large budget and trying to get humans there. We're not saying to stop space exploration altogether by any means, but there are so many other avenues that we can explore for this to be done more effectively. One of the main things that we have yet to consider in this argument so far is the role of private companies getting involved in space travel. So in 2004, Congress enacted the Commercial Space Launch Amendment, and it made private space exploration legal. With this, in 2013, SpaceX celebrated its 10th anniversary and secured a $1.6 billion deal with NASA to provide 12 unmanned cargo flights to the International Space Station. So this is something where SpaceX is taking on that cost in order to help us further our goals as the United States. In addition to that, the cost on NASA actually starts dropping now that private companies are also going up there. So according to Lori Brenner from Sciencing.com, commercial launches significantly affect the cost for NASA to send satellites into space by dropping their per launch cost from $4 billion to less than $50 million, allowing NASA to use its money elsewhere and more effectively. The main goal for everyone is human spaceflight and getting humans onto other planets. But with these companies where all they do 24/7 is try and put their money into this, and they're even on SpaceX's, so for the 3 top private companies, all of them on their website say that their main goals are to reduce the cost of access to space, increase reusable launchers and spacecrafts, and make space accessible to non-astronauts. So we should let them do the grunt work and benefit on the other end. It's honestly more efficient and a better use of our money while we can focus on getting robots up to where they need to be in order for our people to land on places like Mars. We did the same thing when we were trying to get to the moon. We sent robots until we had enough information and we were confident enough that we could send humans there. Why wouldn't we just focus on the robot component and making sure robots are where they need to be so we can save efficiency, and then let others take the cost of values of human life and dollar for dollar cost that the private companies can do without it affecting our government so that they can use their money more effectively. On SpaceX's mission statement, they say, SpaceX designs, manufactures, and launches advanced rockets and spacecrafts. This company was founded in 2002 to revolutionize space technology, while the ultimate goal of enabling people to live on other planets. Again, this is a massive company owned by Elon Musk, who also has other assets and other ways of raising additional money that the government doesn't. In just 8 years, SpaceX had all sorts of advantages that we haven't been able to get to. So in just their short 8 years, as opposed to us, in 2000, they were the first private company to be capable of returning a spacecraft from low Earth orbit in 2010. 2012, its Dragon spacecraft became first commercial spacecraft to deliver cargo to and from the International Space Station. They achieved the first free flight of an orbital class rocket in 2017. And currently the company regularly launches flight-proven rockets and began launching the world's most powerful rocket by 2 factors in 2018. These are huge achievements that a private company was able to achieve in only 8 years versus how long it's taken us to make those same strides. I really think that we need to focus on letting those companies take those costs and those negatives while we can really benefit from the positives. Last, I'm really going to focus on efficiency. If you look at Webster's dictionary, it defines efficiency as the act of being efficient, with efficient being achieving maximum productivity with minimum waste, effort, or expense. In order to achieve this, we need to take full advantages of all of our resources and strengths and limit our weaknesses. With that, humans have massive weaknesses when it comes to space. Robots are way more precise and persistent. Robotworks.com says robots are more precise and consistent than human workers. Robots also allow for increased production and profit margin because they can complete tasks faster. They're also able to work around the clock. Humans have to sleep, humans have to go to the bathroom, humans have to take a break. So that means those are hours and hours and hours. On average, NASA says that astronauts have to sleep for 8 hours a day. That's 8 hours a day that we're losing when people are in space versus robots who can work 24 hours. They don't need those same kinds of things. So also the longest time spent in space, a human, the longest time they've spent in space is a year and 3 months versus when they sent them on a mission versus robots. We actually sent the rover Opportunity on a mission, and he actually ended up staying there for 15 years for that same initial cost. That's a massive achievement that we were able to overcome that humans would never do. We would have to pull them out, we would have to bring them back because they could not last. Versus robots, we can kind of just put them there and see how long they last, see what happens, and they were able to overcome so much that we couldn't even have expected. In conclusion, the cost, danger, and lack of efficiency is just not worth it for NASA to be the primary in order for us to continue human space exploration right now. We're not going to fall completely behind the times because of this amazing country. We have all these private companies who are well established, successful, and able to bear the costs and risks of humans. In addition, it's far more effective and efficient for NASA to focus their efforts on expanding their robotic programs and being an example in that way, and emphasize humans' ability to control those robots. Thank you.